Concordia is now in session. Let the record show that Moderator Plastic and Lord Moores have both chosen to opt out of appointed legal representatives and will instead represent themselves before Concordia. May they be judged fairly by the virtues of suspended law. We will begin with the motions of intent for both the prosecutor and the prosecuted. Lord Nathaniel Moores, you may begin with your motion of intent.
Thank you, Judge-elect. It's a curious thing, isn't it? The first trial involving a litigator. And it is the moderator, no less. I never thought that we would be in such a predicament as this.
You can dispense with the flair, Lord Moores, and get to the point. This is your motion of intent, not a play.
Why, of course.
Guardsmen of suspended law, fellow lords, and Judge-elect,
I present my motion of intent to be that the current moderator be permanently stripped of his title and to subject the position of moderator to the demilitarization process.
Understood. You have made your intent clear. Now Concordia will hear the moderator's motion of intent.
My motion of intent is to retain my position as moderator, for fear of external influence on litigation as a sovereign entity.
Very well. Concordia has heard both motions of intent and will now open up the floor for initial statements. We will begin with the prosecutor. Do you object, moderator?
I accept Concordia's decision without opposition.
Well, we are ready for your statement, Lord Morris.
Moderator, you have served your time as the leader of the litigation for years. However, based on your actions taken during the Killshot incident, I can't help but question this. Abuse of your authority in this particular situation?
Abuse of authority? Really?
Your decision to destroy the Partington was reckless. Rash, one could even call it. Tell me, Joseph, where does your loyalty truly lie?
My litigation means more to me than anything. To question that loyalty is an insult.
More than anything, yet you forget that your loyalties should be to the lords of this span. May I remind you, after all, we granted you this position.
If anything, you're lucky enough to have been the moderator for this long.
Lord Betatrin, permission to respond.
Concordia shifts to the moderator in response.
My inherent loyalty to the authority of the lords is unspoken. I have but one purpose: to uphold the pillars of suspended law. I have never deviated from said purpose, nor do I intend to. I have no ulterior motive or intention to conspire against the very justice system that I helped form. My passion towards the litigation is a symptom of my care for its well-being. May I continue on to my initial statement?
Permission granted, Moderator. Continue.
If we are to use the litigation accords as a measurement of my actions, then I have followed protocol. This situation is no exception. I am to pass neutral judgment on anyone who violates the accords, regardless of their syndicates, or their loyalties, or their alliances. And I did just that. And if any of you care about the sanctity of civilization, then I ask you to side with me now. Let us alter law. Let us amend it, but do not abandon it. Our intention here today should be to encourage the growth of this span, not hinder it.
The initial statements have been heard. Now Concordia will open the floor for testimonies upon our next meeting. I want to make something abundantly clear going forward. This trial is regarding the moderator's actions as they relate to the kill shot scenario that transpired the date of January 15th, 1049. I expect that the both of you do not deviate from this subject in your future testimonies. This session is to be put on hold until further notice. Concordia is now dismissed.
So ends my first session at Concordia. But now the true test begins. I would like to believe that I fared well. Perhaps that I enthralled the crowd of lords and lawmen alike. But it would be hubris to encourage such a delusion. It is far more realistic to acknowledge this trial as artifice, a complete mockery of everything that I represent. But I will not wager the fate of the litigation on my life alone. That is why contingencies have been put in place, that in the event that things go awry, this litigation, this organization, and everything that we represent endures the test of time. I will not, by any means necessary, resort to violence. It would be a betrayal of myself. That being said, escape may be your only option, given the situation. And although I am quite reluctant to resort to such a cowardice tactic, I will not allow my ego to cause the dissolution of the litigation. In fact, I have already sent a squadron of my most trusted surveyors on a mission of exploration. Their sole task is to charter the systems beyond the span. Their surveyors have not returned as of yet. However, this should not be cause for concern. To successfully find a route outside of litigation space while avoiding the patrols is quite the undertaking. When the hour does arrive, though, Navigator Eris will see to this plan's implementation, and I am quite confident in her ability to see to its succession. But for now, I must focus on the immediate future. Lord Moores will adapt, and he will learn. So I must meet his ferocity with logic and reasoning, and his aggression with diplomacy. Then and only then can I defeat him in the most important battlefield that's ever existed.